Hi there, we're going to learn how to use the Bricks extension for Gato GraphQL to interact with Bricks. This will allow us to fetch Bricks data and modify it if we also want to do that. So what this Gato GraphQL extension gives us is a few fields, a field Bricks data to fetch data from Bricks, and also a few mutations to store the data back on the database, and that together with all of the tools provided by Gato GraphQL, there's nothing that you cannot do now to modify all of your Bricks data. So let's start it. So here on the website we have this guide, gatographql.com/guide/working with Bricks, and there are several queries that you can also copy and paste in your client to play as we go along. So in this one we will copy this query to fetch Bricks data for a Bricks post. So here on the website we go to the graphical client and we can paste this query, and we provide the ID of a Bricks post. So let's see what we have here. I have my Bricks pages. We edit this one with Bricks. Okay, so I have this Bricks page, and let's get the ID for this one, which is 3328. And I provide that ID here, and we run this query. That we have we have the let's get also the title. Oops. Let's get the title. There we go. So this is the Bricks page that we have, and we are retrieving all of the Bricks data as it is stored by Bricks. So in this case, as we can see, we have an element which is a container, another container, then another container, and then we have a heading, this one, and then we have a text element, another container with a background image. So basically here this is retrieving all of the data as it is stored here with Bricks. So now that we can retrieve this data, for instance, we can print our website using a JavaScript framework such as React or Vue, fetching our content from Bricks. We can also filter the elements that we want to retrieve. So instead of bringing everything, maybe we don't want to bring the containers. So maybe we can exclude all of the containers. So we can say exclude container. And now if we execute this, now what happens is that it will bring all of the elements except the containers. This one is the heading, the text, and so on. Or we can also include. So for instance, we can say, give me all of the headings. There we are. So now it is bringing all of the heading elements. Okay, there we go. Let's continue with this. Yes, so we can filter the elements. Oh, and we can also bring components. So if you have a component in Bricks and we fetch the data, it will bring the data from the component, but maybe you want to render the properties from the component, so we can resolve those too. So let's do that. Let's add a component here. Let's just do it at the very end. We have here a component, we add this. Okay, there we go. So now I have added a component at the very end of my post. Let's save this, and we fetch this data again. So if we scroll down the Bricks data, the very last element here, as we can see, is a component. But we want the data inside the component. So what we can do is we can say replace components true. And when we run this again and we go all the way down, now instead of giving me the component, it has replaced it with the elements inside the component. Here we go. All right, let's continue. So far we have been fetching data from Bricks. Now we can combine that with the mutations. We have two mutations provided by this extension. One is Bricks set custom post element data, and another one is called Bricks merge custom post element data item. So this one will receive the whole of the Bricks data JSON object and store it on the database. And this one will merge elements, given elements that we have, for instance, updated with the already existing Bricks data on the database. So it depends how we want to work. Either we want to query the whole of the Bricks data and then modify it and provide it once again, or if we want to modify only certain elements and only merge those back into the database. We're going to see an example of both of them. So here we have an example with Bricks set custom post element data. So we copy this query, and what this query will do is, first we're fetching all of the Bricks data. We assign it under a dynamic variable, and then we retrieve which is the element name of that element, and we will ask if it is the heading. If it is the heading, I want it to retrieve the text property and transform it as uppercase. So let's do that. We paste this query and we execute it once again. So now if we check the heading elements like here, as we can see, it has been transformed as uppercase. Now this is simply modifying the string as I fetch it. I'm not doing anything with it yet. So if I update this page here, there will be no changes. Here we are. I mean, this heading has not been transformed. Now what we can do is to store this change back into the database. So we have the mutation Bricks custom post element data that will fetch the this modified data that I'm exporting. Here I'm exporting this modified data, and then I can store it back on the database. So now if I execute the mutation and I refresh this page, we can see that now this title has been modified. Now it is uppercase. It has been stored back to the database. Okay, and the other way that we can modify the data is using this other mutation. So now let's copy this other query. So in this case, we can see that we are filtering the heading element. So instead of retrieving everything, the whole of the Bricks data, we will only filter the heading elements. So let's do that, and let's modify this as lowercase so that we have a change from what we did just now. So if I execute, now we can see now the heading has been modified as lowercase. But once again, this is not persisted on the database yet. So now let's do that. I can use the this mutation, the merge mutation, to persist the changes. So let's do this. We copy this query and we paste it here. And now when I execute the mutation and I refresh, now we can see that the heading element has been modified as lowercase. Alright, so now what we have here is the combination of the Bricks field, in particular the Bricks data, to fetch the data from Bricks, we can and filtering the data as we need it, plus the mutations to store it back on the database, and all of the different other tools from Gato GraphQL, like the directive to convert to uppercase, or if you need to call ChatGPT or Claude to modify the content, you can combine all of these to modify all of the Bricks data as you need to. Alright, I hope that you have enjoyed this guide. Thank you.